Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Breaking Bread. I'm Herman Moore. He's Lomas Brown. We're here for 10 in the Den. This time, Lomas and I are going to share with you our top 10 players that we faced during our career. So get ready.
My number 10 is Dexter Manley.
Oh,
I'm telling you, this guy, man, was so unpredictable. You didn't know whether he was supposed to stay outside, go inside. He would just make up his stuff and do what he wanted to do. And that was always the toughest type of guy to play against, a guy that was kind of undisciplined.
my number 10, any walked out linebacker. Because all they did was come out and maul me. It didn't matter who it was. I hated every single one of them that walked out there from any team. It was a guy that would sit out there because he had a bad day or he was just pissed off about something, and he was coming out there to take it out on me. So that was my number 10. My number 9 is going to come to us as a surprise to a lot of people, and it will be Corey Fuller from the Minnesota Vikings. And most people can go, Corey who?
Right.
Corey was just angry. I don't know what it was. I don't know if he got in trouble with the coaches or it was just that I was, just handing him the business most of the time. But every time I would catch the ball, if you go back and look at any film, he's the guy that always tried to deliver like the hardest hit ever.
Wow.
I don't even care if it was on a hitch route. It could be offsides. He wanted to come and hit me. I don't know what I did to him, but and it wasn't because he could shut me down. It was only because he was just overly aggressive. It was like, dude, really?
I played with Corey, so I know exactly what you're talking about. My number 9, Ezra Johnson. And people might say the same thing, who is Ezra Johnson? But look, I played against him my rookie year, and this how it went. Either I was getting off of the quarterback, he was getting off the quarterback, or both of us was getting off the quarterback. That's how my day went against Ezra Johnson, man. Dude schooled me my rookie year, man. Never forgot that and stuff. I got him back the second game. He played with Green Bay. I got him back the second game, but that first game, it was ugly.
Hey, Lo, my number 8 player, a lot of Lion fans are going to know him well. Martin Mayhew, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And wow is right.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because Martin Mayhew single-handedly may have cost me Hall of Fame. Because all he would do is get pass interference against me, and I never ever had a chance to have those go on my stat sheet. But Martin's a good player, man, but ultra aggressive, would beat him on the double move, and he would always hold me, tackle me, do anything he had to do to keep me from catching passes. So if you look at my output against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it wasn't always that great, but if you go look at the pass interference column, that's where you see where all my stats are. At least 5,000 more yards in there somewhere.
Okay, Herm, my number 8 is Ken Harvey. Man, I'm talking about this dude, like his neck and head, like was all the same size. And that's how he would lead into you, man. Every time he pass rush you, he hitting you with that head first and then coming with a counter move. Man, we played an overtime game, and I was so happy when that game ended, man, because I think he shortened me by about 2 inches that game, man. That dude had the hardest head that I've ever felt, man. So Ken Harvey, you were the man. You were the man.
My number 7, Chicago Bears, Donnell Woolford. People go again.
Yeah.
Who is Donnell Woolford? Donnell Woolford was a really good defensive back for the Chicago Bears when I came into the league. The deal was I played against him during his years at Clemson when I was at the University of Virginia.
Oh, so he knew you.
So he knew me.
Okay.
I knew him. He knew me, and it was just always just tough. It was a tough battle because we knew each other's tendencies. And so he was tough to beat. But, I mean, I ended up winning some of my battles against him. But Donnell Woolford was tough for that reason. And, yeah, that sucked.
Yeah. My number 7, Pat Swilling, a teammate of both of ours. Pat came over to us, but before he came to become a Detroit Lion, he was a New Orleans Saints. Pat had a nice outside. He had a nice spin move to the inside. He was pretty quick. But he always had them other 3 linebackers, Ricky Jackson, and the other 2 linebackers with him. So they had one of probably the best linebacking crews that's probably in the history of the game. So Pat, like I said, he later became a teammate, but he was the enemy at first. And, man, he was tough. He was tough, man. So
would you rather have the Pat Swilling of New Orleans or the Pat Swilling of the Detroit Lions?
I would have rather had the New Orleans Pat Swilling. That Pat Swilling was a better Pat Swilling.
So, my number 6 is a guy, again, within, at the time, the NFC Central Division, Robert Griffith.
Yes.
Man, crazy. We would watch him on film, and he would come racing down from the secondary, from the safety position, full speed to the line of scrimmage and blow up whoever's on the slot. And I would always go into the slot because they wanted me to do run support. And every time I do that, Scott Mitchell would be the quarterback, or whoever would be the quarterback, they would always time the cadence to him coming down. I don't know if they didn't like me, if I dropped the ball before then or what. And they would just not break his stride. Normally you want to hold the count.
Right.
And he would just come straight down and just blow me up. And I would just be in the backfield behind Barry Sanders by the time they handed him the ball off. And just, so mental health is something they really need to pay attention to in the NFL.
He needed some counseling.
He needs some anger management on there. And every time he do that, man, he was lick his lips, just knowing he was going to come down there and just blow me up. And I had no motion. I couldn't get off the line.
My number 6, another teammate of ours, Herman, Mike Cofer. Now, if
yeah.
you're a Lion fan,
RoboCop.
yeah, that was him, man. Dude was built like a Greek god, man. As a big fella, man, you would love to be built like Cofer. 2% body fat, but this dude had a motor, Herm, that never shut off. I'm talking about practice, game. It didn't matter, man. Coming out the locker room, he was full gear, man. Mike Cofer was the ultimate warrior at all times. So Mike Cofer, man, he's no longer with us, R.I.P. But man, great player.
Well, my number 5, John Lynch, another Hall of Famer. This is a guy that would come down and give support on the run, and he seemed smaller when he was back
Right.
in the secondary, and then all of a sudden he starts getting closer to the line of scrimmage, and you start realizing this is a safety who was really a linebacker playing safety,
Right.
and then you had to block him. And again, man, I don't know if the coaches really didn't like me in Detroit or not, because they just wanted me to sit there and always block the safeties and do all that stuff and let the other guys run free. But no, John Lynch was a good player, but Barry got my back.
Yeah.
Barry shook him one time in the hole.
That's what I heard.
Broke him down. Yeah, that was like when your big brother come in
Yeah.
and be like, "Don't make me go tell my big brother."
Yeah.
I went and told my big brother Barry. Barry took care of it.
Yeah, well, I played with John, and John told me all about, he said he was in the hole one-on-one with Barry. He said he looked up, Barry was going that way. So, yeah, he told me about that, Herm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, Herm, my number 5, again, R.I.P. to the great Derrick Thomas. Whew. Quickest step I've ever seen off a defensive player, man. That dude, man, you line up and, man, you turn around and he round the corner, man, on the quarterback, man. Dude was awesome. And the thing, what I remember about him the most was he was the guy that used to drive around with a case of Louis in the back of his trunk. A case of Louis now, man. Louis the 13 costs what, Herm? How much is that a bottle?
I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
Yeah, man, it's above mine too. But I knew he used to have a case of it back
Above
there.
the Green Monster.
Yeah, that's what
Tanqueray.
he needed. That's what he needed up in there, some Tanqueray. But Derrick Thomas, man, R.I.P.
All right, Lo. So my number 4 is Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I smile when I say that because that's my secondary team to the Lions. But Rod Woodson, number 26, man. Dude was big. Dude was fast. I didn't even realize he was a sprinter and high hurdles and all that stuff in college, so no wonder I couldn't run away from him. But Rod was cool. He wasn't overly physical, but he was just a big corner. You just didn't expect to play against somebody like that. So Rod was real tough when I played against him. I still had over 100 yards per game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Rod was good.
Herman, my number 4, the great Bruce Smith. Now, we came out in the same, that was it. That's all you used to hear, too, at Buffalo Stadium. But we came out in the same draft class, 1985. He was the first pick in the draft. I was the 6th pick in the draft. But I played against him maybe like 4 or 5 times. It was always a battle. I have to say I handled my business, though, Herm.
Of course.
I handled my business. I appreciate that, bro. But I handled my business against Bruce Smith. But all-time great. Like I say, he's the number 1 sack leader of all time right now. So Bruce Smith, I give you your props, my brother.
So for number 3, toughest player for me that I faced, Ernest Williams.
Yeah.
You know why? The nicest guy.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to block him. I didn't want to really just beat him up. Like I wanted to be real aggressive at the line of scrimmage, and every time I'd have a corner walk up on me, I just wanted to just go and jam them real hard, put them on their back, get that pancake. And Aeneas, man, you just go, man, this is a nice guy.
Yeah.
And Aeneas want to pray with you.
Yeah.
Before you play, he want to pray with you after he tackle you. He want to pray with you when you break up a pass. He want to pray for you at the end of the game. You know, I mean, how can you not like a guy like that?
Right.
So Aeneas Williams, man, he was a tough guy, another Hall of Famer, man, and you know, some great guys, man, we played against. But yeah.
Another guy I played with too, Aeneas. You're right. He would pray for everything. Okay. Now, my number 3 is the great Chris Doleman. Again, man, I've been saying R.I.P. a lot. Chris Doleman, man, defensive end, Minnesota Vikings, number 56, 6'5", about 265. You see, I got all the stats, man.
Oh, I remember Chris.
Tough, man, inside, outside type of guy. He was big enough where he could run you over, quick enough to run around you, man. And those were the guys that I never liked to face, man, because they could do too many things against you, man. But Chris was great and had some great line mates. Think about John Randall. He had Nico Noga and all those other great, Henry Thomas, all those other great linemen on the line. But to me, he was the cream of the crop, man. Chris Doleman, again, R.I.P., my brother.
All right. So, Lo, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Number 2 for me, prime time. Dion Sanders. Dion was the most energetic, most talkative guy I've ever faced, ever at the line of scrimmage. I remember he was with San Francisco. We were playing at the Silverdome, and he literally would come up to the line of scrimmage and go, "Hey, what's up, H? Hey, so what play you running? Is this a run or a pass?" Every single play. Imagine that. H, run a pass. I was like, "No, man, I'm not telling you what it is." He's like, "Look, dog, if it's a run, just run me off. That way we ain't got to sit around here playing around. 'Cause you got Barry in the back. You know, you don't want to be chasing Barry all over the place." So that's what it would be like, man. But Dion, and that's the way he would play. And he's physical, he's tough, but he really just, it's like a playground for him, man.
Confident,
it's just, yeah.
man. Confident,
it's like, I know, man, but I mean, just all the talking. Prime. What you got, Herm? What you running? You run a pass. That's all it was.
My number 2, Richard Dent, a.k.a. Dirty Dent. Man, and he deserved that nickname too, because he would poke you in the eye. He'd do whatever he had to do, grab areas he ain't supposed to be grabbing.
With the Bears.
Yes, number 95. And would talk noise. You talking about Dion talk noise. He would talk noise, but he would talk it to our sideline. He'd be talking to Wayne and everybody else standing on the sideline, man. So, man, Richard Dent, man, hell of a player on the 1985 Bears. I think that's the best defense ever, you know. So, and he was the catalyst on that defense. So, Dirty Dent, my guy, Chicago's finest.
All right, Lo, drum roll. Brrr. Hey, so my number 1 is what we call just a little mighty man, and that was Darryl Green.
Yes.
And I hate Darryl Green, great guy. Playing his golf hours, I had to ask him a question. I go, Darryl, you were just, why did you never pay me any attention when I was out there? He said, well, I knew you was never going to outrun me. So I didn't have to pay. He would never look at me. It's almost like, you know, if you was in a relationship, like, man, why don't you ever give me eye contact?
Right.
He never would look at me because he never respected me, my speed. He never cared what I was doing because he knew he could get there before the ball would get there. And so he always looked at the play, and he would jump any and every route. You couldn't beat him with a double move because when you pump fake, he'd jump it. By the time the ball get in the air and get to it, he'd catch up to it.
To get it, huh?
So, yeah, Darryl Green, man, he was the guy I hated the most. And the coaches, I'm 6'4", he's 5'8", and they say, throw it away from my side. What sense does that make, man?
How old was he when he retired, Herm? He played like about 20 years.
Man, look, at that point, he could have been like my uncle. He could have been like Uncle Darryl. And they still were like, no, throw it to the other side. I'm like, man, you don't even know who's on the other side. I'm just Darryl Green, I get it. But they was like, no, youngin. So Darryl Green, man, good guy though.
Herm, my number 1 player, drum roll. Can I get it? There it is. LT, Lawrence Taylor.
Which one?
That right, the original LT. Man, this dude changed the position. They had to start getting quicker offensive linemen to play the left tackle position because of LT to block him, man. not only physically could he beat you, but mentally, because that whole week of preparation you getting ready for him, you just thinking about, oh, Lord, man, what this man going to do to me or do to the quarterback. And you thinking about some of those old NFL clips where he talking about we're going to get them like a bunch of wild dogs and stuff. So, yeah, man, most intimidating guy that I played against, hands down, man. So Lawrence Taylor, he redesigned that position, redesigned the offensive line position, like I say, making you have to have a good left tackle to keep him out the backfield, LT. Well, that's another edition of Breaking Bread with Herman and Lomas. We gave y'all our top 10 in the den, right?
Yep, of the toughest players that we faced during our career. And we'll be sharing more videos like this, so continue to chime in. And, hey, tell us what you think. So we'll see you next time on
Breaking Bread.